Hi guys, Tony here from Caveman Props. Well, we're back to the tutorials again now, and one we're going to do for you today is the Power Stone Orb from Guardians of the Galaxy. This is the one seen in the first Guardians of the Galaxy film that Star-Lord steals. It's quite an interesting prop. I know I'm quite late to the party. That film was quite a while ago, and we've all caught up now with Infinity Wars and Endgame. But what I'd like to do is we're looking at this prop because there's been some really good replicas online that people have 3D printed. They're absolutely fantastic, and I've become this close to buying one, and I was looking at one a little while ago and was really quite almost hit that sale button again and bought it. But I came across to me that sparked my interest, and that was this. This is a polystyrene ball. Not really that interesting, but what I've loved about this polystyrene ball is actually in two parts. Now, to me, this is pretty much the prop already there, and I think with a few little adjustments and what I can do with this, we can make an absolute replica of the prop using this. Now, this dome sphere polystyrene cost me 60p. So this is going to be a real budget build, because I think with all the materials and everything I'm going to need just to finish the inside, the outside isn't really going to cost me that much at all. This is going to be such a budget build, and anyone can build this. So we're going to go into the workshop now, and we are going to turn this into the Power Stone Orb from Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, so our first bit is we're going to start on the outside. So I've been looking at the reference pictures, trying to gauge it in my head, and what we're going to do is we're going to mark out on the polystyrene dome with a Sharpie pen. I'm going to be using this Sharpie pen because I always buy the metallic ones and I end up only using the silver and the gold, so this just happens to be a spare one, the bronze, that's left lying around. And using a Sharpie pen on polystyrene foam intends to drain the ink out of them quite quickly, so using a spare one we're having laying around could be quite handy. Now what I want to do is I want to mark the indents that are going to be on the inside, so I'm going to take that. Obviously I'm not going to work to a particular pattern, but we're going to kind of make shapes, and we're going to try and work out the bits in between. Some bits are long, some bits are short, and we're going to create what essentially is going to be the holes. I want to mark everything out, so it's kind of trying to think these are the bits that go inwards rather than the bits that stick outwards. It's kind of a bit hard, so we're going to go round our dome a bit like that. So we're going to continue this on and create the full dome effect. For this next bit I would recommend a respirator mask and plenty of ventilation, because we're going to be using a wood burner or a soldering iron, and we are going to burn these parts in. So I'm going to film that and do it over the voice. So you want to be careful, just use the very end of it, and you want to burn these holes out using the soldering iron. Obviously, because this is a domed one, you don't want to go too far in, you just want to be able to add the effect to it. And obviously the fumes that can come off of this can be quite bad for you to breathe in, so I would recommend a ventilator, a fan, a good window open, and plenty of air circulation around you while you do this. Okay, so we've finished this off, put it done. What I did was, once I'd finished the inside bits, my soldering iron has this strip on the outside. This still gets hot, but not as hot as the tip, so it was a little bit cool. And what I've done is I've used that and brushed around the outside of this just to kind of destroy a little bit the smoothness of it, because this is going to be like a rock formation, so we don't want it completely smooth. So I've just added that little extra bit to the end here, but obviously it's created these holes. And if you make a mistake and you go off the line of what you were planning to do, it's not a big deal, because this is supposed to be rough, so we just work around it as we do. We just use the markings as a guide. So what we're going to do is I'm going to paint these. Now these need to be black, but what I can't do is I can't spray them because the solvency of the spray paint will just dissolve the polystyrene. So we're going to use a plain just black acrylic. Now I always have black acrylic around. I use it in a lot of the props for weathering, but the big thing of acrylic paint that I have only cost me £3, so it's really quite inexpensive. I'm only going to use a little bit, so because I use it a lot I always have it around. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to paint these up, all black inside as well, and we're going to let them dry. Okay, so while the domes are dry, and we're going to move on to the inside part. And to do that, I've done some drawings here. I've kind of had to go back and try and remember my high school maths. I've used a compass and drawn a circle. So this is going to be the ring on the inside. And looking at the original pictures, the ring is quite detailed, and I think we're going to struggle to try and get that level of detail in kind of what I have planned. So the plan is I'm going to make it a bit more simple. So this is going to be the main ring, sits there, and then I've done another one here, and I've taken it back and created a pattern over two parts. So it's going to be a solid bit, and then a bit that comes, two bits that come down the solid at the front. That's going to sit on top of that, and then that will sit on the ring and go round that way. And then I've done this one. This will be the opposite way round, so the ring will sit that way, and these bits will sit inside the half the semicircle, and will be the bits sitting that way. So I've measured these out, so I'm going to cut these bits out, use these as a template, and then we're going to move them onto cardboard. So I'm going to be using a old cereal box, so really like budget build here because it's going to be free material, but I think this is going to work better for us, and we're going to cut these bits out. So I'm going to need 32 of these, 32 of each of these, and 2 of these. So I'm going to crack on, get these bits cut out and get them onto the cardboard. Okay, so I've drawn those out, so I've got 2 rings and 32 of our inward pieces. I did cut out the template bits for the more details to go on here. I've decided they are quite fiddly to do, so to save time I've come up with another way which I'm going to show you as we do it, just to add the details to this. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to get these bits cut out, and then I'll show you how we're going to paint them up. Now to get these painted, this is what I'm going to do. So I've used the other piece of cardboard, using a little bit of double-sided sticky tape, put these down so I can get them back off. And again, I've stuck some of these bits of foam. This comes off the edge of the matting, so it normally gets thrown away. But what I've done is I've used a scalpel and put some slits in this. I'm going to be able to just poke these bits in on one side, which I know this bit's going to be seen, this bit's going to be inside and covered up. So if I use that side, I should be able to get them in there. And if I kind of alternate them a little bit, I should be able to get them, and that will stand them up. And then what I can do is I can take these outside and spray paint them and get a good coverage. So even if that little corner bit's not painted, it's not going to be a problem because that bit's not really going to be seen. So I'm going to get all 32 of these in, and we'll get them out and painted. So the inside bits have been sprayed, and we're just going to let them have a good dry. This is all now dry as well, so the black acrylic, I've also painted the inside, so bits to go in there. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to use the silver metallic sharpie, or you can get a paint pen, and what we're going to do is we're going to just highlight these bits that we left behind and just made a bit rough. What we're going to do is we're going to try and use the side of the pen, and sort of as we go over it, we're just adding that on. But obviously where you get the little dips and bits, you're going to get some bits that are more silver, some bits that with the black shows through, and that's kind of what we want. We don't want a perfect effect, we're just going to go with this. Now this goes on quite silver and it will dry a little bit. Once it dries a little bit, a bit more of the black will come through, which is what we want. I kind of had a go at the other one. I got some silver paint and tried to dry brush. Wasn't really coming out that well. Maybe I need to practice at it a bit more, so I find that this was working better. But obviously if you find that dry brushing works for you, it might be better. I don't think I particularly had a great silver paint for trying to work it with. It was just wasn't going on very well. So obviously, as you can see where I've done the little dips and bits in between, it's not really going to be seen, so you get the little black bits. So this is essentially what we're going to do now. Let's just run over this and finish that off. So that's going to add that effect. We're going to do that to both halves, and then hopefully we're going to leave the bits in the middle to dry, and then we'll start the assembly ready for finishing. We've left these bits to dry, and now what we're going to do is we're going to try and attempt to get these bits to sit in here, because obviously I can't use a solvent glue because this is polystyrene, it's just going to go, and I have to use PVA. It's going to be hard because obviously it'd be good for the cardboard, but we only have a small surface area in which to put these in, so I'm going to have to get them in about right, and then basically leave them to sit there. So next one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it one side then the other side, so I can kind of get it evened up. Doing it like that, so then I'm going to do the two sides this side, and perhaps I'll move on to the other side, and I'm just going to let it dry for a little bit. So I've given it time to actually dry, and these are all now managed to get them in. It was quite fiddly. I had to do like half of each one, leave it to actually properly dry, and then come in and do the other one. So it's taken a couple of days just to get those bits finished. I've had other things going on, which has been quite handy. So we're just going to leave them to one side, and then we're going to work on this ring piece for the middle. And what I'm going to do is, just to make things just simpler and easier, is we're just literally going to mark it with a sharpie pen. So I've got this little one, it's got a nice little point on it, and luckily the griddings on my cut mat here seem to fit. So if I put that kind of central and then have a line at the bottom here where I can go up, so I can find a sort of central line, and we're just going to mark this ring like that. So we're just going to, and then turn it. I'm just going to use this. This is kind of a bit roughly, but we're using the markings just to get it right. So I'm going to do there, and then we're obviously going to turn it again, and what I can use is use this central square now to get this more central this way. Again, do the other one. Obviously this isn't going to be quite as detailed, but just for trying to get it done. And then what we're going to do is we're going to create a pattern in the middle here, and I'm thinking each one of these I'm going to do two dots there, a little line, and then three dots, so one for the middle of the line, one for the ends, and then we're going to repeat that. So I'm going to have a line there, dot, middle, end, middle, end. So I'm thinking that's going to be the pattern. So we're going to work that all the way around, and then hopefully we'll be able to get these in the orb and pretty much finished. Completed both the rings. I've put this one in, I've only just sat that one in for now, and that one's going to go on there like that. So literally all these need to do is to glue in there, and that's pretty much going to create it. And then all I've got to do is really find something for the gem. But I'm going to stick these in, and then the prop should be completely finished. Well, there we go, guys. There you have it. The prop is now completed and complete with the inside bits. I'm not sure how well we can see that. I know this isn't the best of props. The middle bit in the inside was sort of there. Basically what I wanted to do with this project is to show you how you don't need a massive skill set or loads of equipment or just be spending loads of money to actually build a prop. As I say, this the sphere only cost me about 60p. Obviously the inside bits were just cardboard. That's what I was trying to do, is show you, you can use cardboard, an old cereal box, and you can help make something. So all in all, with paint and all, I don't think I actually spent more than £2 on building this prop. So for £2 I think this is an excellent prop. If I was to spend a bit more money, I could probably do much better inside of it, but I just kind of wanted to show you with basic materials. People turn around to me and sort of say, oh, I'll show you how to make these props, and go, yeah, but I can't do it, and I haven't got this, I haven't got that. This is something that, is quite relatively easy. You don't need a lot of skill. It's basically just playing about. Yes, there's the soldering iron, but it's quite relatively easy to do. There's no skill involved in it. It's just marking it out and then doing these bits. So there we have it. Let me know what you think. Please leave us a comment. Please like, please subscribe. You can also hit the little bell button so you'll get notifications when I put up a new video. But I hope you liked, and I will see you in the next tutorial very soon.